And here she is, my first silencer. Oh man, I was so excited to take it to the range. I actually had pretty much zero experience shooting silenced firearms before today. And now, after 600 rounds, this was one of the most fun trips I ever had to the range in my entire life. I have shot it through a few guns. One cool thing about the rugged Obsidian 45 is that it works on so many different things. It can be 300 blackout, 9mm, 45, any of the other calibers that are equal to or smaller in size, all the way down to 22 long rifle. It's just so cool. And it's a little bit modular in the fact that it can be taken down like this and turned into a short configuration. And one thing I will tell you that I learned is that this silencer comes apart very easily right now. But after you shoot it and you bring it home, you might not be able to loosen this at all. And that's what happened to me. And I actually made 2 range trips today. One was like 450 rounds, 400 rounds, and I had some fun. And then the second one was to heat it back up so I could knock that loose. I contacted Rugged, and they actually respond really quick, by the way, if you message them on Facebook, like really quick, almost instantly. And they recommended that maybe try freezing the can for like 15 minutes in the freezer and then heating up the body over here, and then maybe it'll loosen. I did lube all of the threads on everything that does thread. So you have the end cap right here, which can thread off, and I also have the 9mm end cap that works with 300 blackout and 9mm, and then you have the 45 end cap right here. So that threads. This part threads, and then you have the piston system that threads, and you also can put a fixed mount right here too that I used, and I put that on my 300 blackout pistol that you guys saw some footage of. And yeah, so make sure you lube all of those threads. I didn't have any other problems besides this one, and I didn't over tighten it. I don't know, it just got really hot, and then by the time I got home, it was rock solid, and there was nothing I could do to move this thing at all. So I had to take it back, threw a couple mags through it, heated the silencer right up, and then poop, it cracked right away. So yeah, that's a little tip for you guys. Make sure you put a little extra lube, or in my case, I'm actually just going to take this thing apart at the range. When I'm leaving, I'm just going to take this off, make sure this is loose, make sure this is loose, make sure all the threads are loose before you leave the range and while the can is still super hot. So that will help significantly. And that is a amateur tip from me after my very first silencer day experience. So this was my 45 caliber host gun, and it's an FNX 45 tactical. It ran perfectly. Nothing, not even so much as a hiccup. It ejected perfectly, just threw the can right on. And right now I have the piston for it, so I can show you guys what it looks like on the gun. And there you go. Oh man, it's so cool. It's so cool. I did try it in the short configuration, and I don't know, I just liked the extra silencing power, the extra suppression you get with the longer can, and I'm not like carrying it around. I don't really care how heavy it is, and it wasn't causing any sort of malfunction. So I actually like the long configuration, but in the short configuration, I will say that it just feels so much lighter. I mean, it's like 20% lighter, 25% lighter. It's so it makes a difference, but I did like the extra suppression with the full length Obsidian 45. Oh my god, this was just like so much fun. So guys, this is one of my main everyday carries, and this was the other gun that I shot with the Obsidian 45 on here. This is a 9mm P320, And this is a carry size slide with a X compact size frame that I cut down, and you can see that in a previous video. I made a little video about doing that with the X carry with the X compact slide. But yeah, I really like this little configuration. Anyway, I just bought a Silencer Co. barrel for it and threw the silencer on, and it runs perfectly. The only time I did have a failure was when the magazine was full and this thing was in the full length configuration. I think that the pressure from the magazine, because it does get a little bit stiff sometimes on these P320s, the pressure pushing up against the slide caused a failure to eject. So I had a little stovepipe, and I just cleared that, and then all the other rounds worked fine. So it was just like that first round. Oh my God, was it too much fun with 147 grain. I actually used the Sig Sauer Elite Performance. Oh, that's so nerdy. Sig Sauer using a Sig Sauer ammo. And right now it has the same 5/8 thread pitch on there, so it can't go on this one. But they do make the adapter piston so that you can just unscrew this. I'll show you guys. You just unscrew this thing, and then out comes your booster assembly. And this part stays the same, but the actual gold part right here, the piston changes, and you put the 9mm, the 1/2x28 piston in, and then that just fits in like that. You use the exact same cap, push that on, and twist it on, and then you're good to go. So whatever you want to change it to, whether it be your 9mm, your 45, or you can put your fixed mount on there for your rifles. But I will say, these things get really fucking hot. You better buy a really badass oven mitt or welder's gloves maybe. Something thick, because man was this thing hot. All I did was bring a rag to the range, and I learned very quickly that I need to remedy that and bring a solid mitt. If I want to be changing accessories and changing the length and changing the end cap and changing the piston, yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass to wait for it to cool down, because let me tell you, even just a couple mags out of this thing and it was super piping hot. I absolutely love this can as far as first impressions go, because I mean, I have nothing to compare it to as far as pistol caliber cans go. I have shot silenced rifles before, but shooting silenced pistols, I have no experience. This can was amazing, and the people around me that apparently did have experience with pistol cans and stuff, they were all like peeking over the sides of the range and being like, dude, what kind of silencer is that? That thing sounds awesome. Like, at least 4 people came up and were like, dude, what kind of silencer is that? That thing's wicked cool, blah, blah, blah. And then when I had this thing on my 300 Blackout, the guy next to me at the range in the lane next to me apparently has a lot of experience with silencers and trying to suppress rifles and such. And he was like, dude, that thing is ejecting perfectly at like 3 or 4 o'clock.
You're ejecting at 4 o'clock.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah, it sounds
It
good.
doesn't look like you're getting a lot of gas back in your
None.
engine.
None at all.
It's awesome.
I mean, it's subsonic, but still. And it was locking back. They have a fixed mount that just replaces this piston mount, and I put that on there, and then it was running perfectly in my 300 Blackout pistol. It's my own custom build. I don't have anything factory bought. It's just I bought all the parts, put it together, and I guess I got lucky. And it was super, super fun at the range, and I absolutely love this silencer, how versatile it is. And I have a couple more in NFA jail, but as far as I'm concerned, this thing was 100% an amazing purchase. And if you guys are on the fence about this rugged Obsidian, absolutely go buy it and just forget you bought it for a year. It took me 10 months to get this thing out of jail on an independent Form 4. So there's a time frame, current time frame. It was last September, maybe beginning of October, and I literally just got it today. So yeah, this was my first experience with this amazingly fun firearm accessory. And for those of you who don't know what these things really sound like, because I didn't know what a pistol silencer really sounds like. They're not crazy quiet. They're still pretty loud. It's pretty much like if somebody clapped really loud next to your head. That's pretty much what these sound like. And when you have hearing protection on, it's like a staple gun. But without hearing protection, yeah, it's kind of like a really loud clap. And that's how I would liken shooting silence too, for those of you who are curious and wanting to get into this. This is a really fun experience, a really fun world to be a part of, and I'm looking forward to doing more videos with my silencers and showing you guys my experience along the way. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Catch you later. See ya.